from now.
Are there ways to leverage public or private?
Okay, you've had 3 minutes discussion on one of those questions. Can you write? I know time goes so fast, doesn't it? Now write down some thoughts on your pieces of paper about your question, and then move on to one. We're nearly there. One last go. Choose another question off the legal funding page, and then click the case which will be involved, and have another quick discussion about one of those, and then we'll do some ground. So 3 minutes discussion on one final question, and then see where
what are the main challenges in terms of ownership administrative? 그래서 이제 파트너하고 이제 소유권이나 주인의식 아니면은 어떤 행정적인 역할이나 아니면은 이제 이해관계가 상충되어 있을 때 어떤 maybe the most important thing is, when you're doing this stakeholders and partners, you should take time and do it slowly, so everybody can another idea, from if we choose a coordinator, for these partnerships, the coordinator, the role of the coordinator is very important in that partnership. Otherwise, instead of getting an agreement, from different stakeholders, we might have other decisions. I agree. So, since we have any other ideas regarding the partnerships local, yeah. You're saying that because you do not stress the bottom up approach is more important because we usually get a lot 저기 이분이 얘기하신 건 우리가 지방정부나 지역과 밑에서 올라가는 maybe since we got 3 answers for this part, maybe we can go back to some of our previous questions which we didn't complete. 그래서 다른 거 한번 그 재원이 중요한 재원이 중요한 거 보고 답변을 받으면 안 돼요? 그러니까 어쨌든 법원을 위해서 법원 프로젝트를 위해서 어떤 장애점이 있느냐 이런 걸 해결할 수 있는 쭉 재원을 위해 문화 추가시면 Is there any other further ideas regarding you said about the conversation? People, creating that. Any other?
The duck has gone off again. That, I think you've done all the hard work now. Keep writing down your ideas of the last question we've been discussing, because we need all your ideas to help see where to take things forward. So a minute or so to write your thoughts down in any language you wish, and confirm this as repeated ways, keep learning rapidly.
So it's basically give the public
and then I'll hand back to Robert to round off with asking for some feedback from each of you groups. So stay in your groups for the moment and we'll see what then comes through.
And also she's suggesting maybe instead of looking into the private we also could establish kind of foundation. Tidal flood restoration foundation. We could add something. So but anyway, so foundation. 근데 기본적으로 모든 걸 색을 많이 썼다고 근데 요거 색깔을 위해 색을 많이 내요.
All right. The nice problem that we have created for ourselves with this kind of exercise is that people are deep in conversations, which is what we had hoped for.
Carry on as long as you like after the next 5 minutes.
So, again, I'd like to get everybody to sort of wind down their conversation. Make sure that you've written down your ideas and some of your insights to share with us, because it's very important that we bring out of this workshop a report and some recommendations that reflect all of the good ideas that came into this room, from our speakers as well as from you. So at this point, we have only really a few minutes left. And what I'd like to ask of really anyone in any of these groups, but I would like to ask people to share some of the ideas, share some of the answers to some of these questions with the rest of us. And I think that this will be a neat way, and it doesn't matter. So if I could, I'll ask for volunteers, or I will draft groups to begin. Can I see a hand of someone who has, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, if I could have everyone's attention, let's go around and explore some of the ideas that we have come up with for any of these questions. So if you would tell us which questions you are sharing your idea from.
This is cheating a bit because I'm part of the organising committee, but I just thought I'd get things moving a bit with an answer. A thought we had on the economic arguments for restoration. Because we had some sense that the economic arguments are actually quite well made, both in the settings perhaps of Korea, but certainly in our, one of our group was from Micronesia, where there have been some developments and loss of mangrove for an airport extension. It wasn't better economic knowledge we needed, perhaps, but it was a more detailed landscape of economic knowledge so that we could undergo a kind of triage approach to deciding where to try really hard to persuade governments to make a difference, because we're not going to persuade them everywhere, even if the economic arguments are good. But where we can say this place is really, really good, we could use that. So it's a case of having that whole economic landscape in order to make the persuasive arguments. We thought of that as a sort of triage.
Thank you, and thank you, Micronesia. That means I have to go back and probably refocus the entire clean water and wetlands report we're preparing at the moment to focus on that. Thank you.
Now, I'm curious about whether there's anyone else who had a particular discussion about that point of economic landscape, of economic arguments. Did anyone else focus in on the economics question that you'd like to share some of your roots ideas? Yep.
Yeah, we discussed it for salt marshes, this economic argument, and for salt marshes, and I think the same goes for mangroves, but also for reefs in front of the coast. It's benefit for coastal protection. We give a lot of money for coastal protection, and for example, in our country, areas with salt marshes in front of the dikes, that areas, the dikes must not be so built so strong as it is without dikes. Another argument was purification of water. Salt marshes have the possibility during when they are underwater to play a role in the purification of the water, and it's also a sediment trap. We have to with the sediments in our tiny flats. We have a problem of mud because during former reclamations, many bays were reclaimed, and so we have no places enough where mud can sedimentate. And this sedimentation of mud in salt marshes may be during the stormy period. It may be 20 centimeters much, something like that. It plays an important role in this. So we had these three economic arguments within 3 minutes. If you have more time, you might find more arguments.
I am ruthless in the timekeeping, aren't I?
But keep writing, keep writing.
Yes.
You've got a few more minutes to write some more ideas down.
Any other points on the economic argument or economic case? Or any other questions that people found themselves having a particular discussion about that they would like to share with the group?
Hi, our group shared those thoughts you had, Mark. There was actually a really good discussion here about the views from within Korea locally and how this knowledge is now being shared on a wider stage. That's very, very important. The whole business, I've just come back from in Japan and looking at the benthic work that's being done on the coast on the restoration of the tsunami hit coast with Professor Suzuki. It's very interesting to see how the basic knowledge of benthic communities in the tidal flats before the tsunami and the work that's been done since shows the importance of us having really good knowledge of these systems in place as soon as possible. And actually, many of the systems in the joined up way are still quite poor in many parts of the world. And mud flats and tidal flats are not that popular to do work on compared to other systems. In terms of a point about the coastal wetlands as a whole, need greater public understanding, not just the corals and the mangroves, but the whole coast. So there is a PR exercise for coastal wetlands for the world, and so to articulate this in terms of public awareness, articulate the current threats and opportunities for coastal wetlands is obviously a priority, and that's why we welcome this particular workshop today. I have a personal interest in mangroves in Kenya and how communities have been able to restore mangroves very cheaply by just one or two people empowering local communities to do that. So the economic, the cost business sometimes can be enormous, but it needn't be. And so there are some quick solutions being done around the world where there is empowerment. And I've been really taken by the strong voice that's been set here at this conference from the Korean community. And I think there was a voice that we're going to take to the rest of the world, which we will acknowledge and respect. Thank you.
Yes, it need not always cost a fortune if you think carefully and find solutions. That's a really important one.
On the theme of outreach or education or awareness building, are there any other comments?
제가 있는 지역에서 실제로 보건 사업이 이루어지고 있습니다. 그런데 상당히 짧은 기간에 보건을 지금 하고 있기 때문에 사전에 충분한 그러니까 연안에 따라서 다 상황이 다르다 봅니다. 그 맞게 그 지역의 특징들을 잘 조사하고 오랫동안 모니터링을 해서 거기에 맞게 복원이 돼야 되는데 현재 우리나라 복원을 지금 시작하고 있는 방식은 충분한 조사가 없이 결국은 정치적인 결정에 의해서 막 진행이 되고 있다는 것이죠. 그러니까 예산만 많이 들고 실제적인 복원은 아니고 이런 지금 결과가 나고 있다 생각이 들어서 좀 장기적인 조사와 그 지역의 특징에 맞는 방식으로 그 결과를 가지고 활용하는 복원 방식으로 가야겠다는 생각이 들고요. 아까 이제 복원 예 중에 굴을 서식하게 해서 이제 해양선을 복원하는 얘기를 하셨지만, 사실 또 그것도 모든 곳에서 다 이용할 수 있다고 생각 않거든요. 그래서 그런 부분도 다른 지역에서 또 다르게 해야 다른 방식으로 가야 되는 것이고, 그래서 그런 것들이 좀 필요하다는 거고요. 그 다음에 이제 제가 얘기 드린 것 중에 복원을 전문가만 해서는 안 되고요. 그 지역에 사는 그 지역 주민이나 또 지역의 여러 가지 이해 당사자들 있을 거고, 또 행정 쪽에 관계된 사람들이 있을 거고, 이런 사람들이 비록 그 사람들이 가지고 있는 전문성의 차이는 있다 하더라도 자주 토론하고 그에 대한 의견을 나누다 보면 최선책의 방법을 찾을 것이고, 그 이후에 복원이 되고 나서도 실질적으로 그걸 유지하고